I was shocked to listen, Mr. Chairman, to your presentation to the legislative delegation. Because in addition to the things that we had talked about, that we agreed on, and that you were speaking to the legislative delegation as our representative, as a representative of this board, in addition to that, you said some things as if they were agreed upon, as if they were done deals. And I was so shocked, I actually had to go back and I actually had to type verbatim what you said because no, he didn't say that, you didn't say that, and you did say that.
Ms. Campbell, like, this is part of what we have inside of this governance, is to be able to defend yourself in as far as stuff, right?
I'm going to give you the chance.
But no, you're actually not. You're bringing this up. What we did agree to is that we agreed to a policy procedure where 7 days prior, somebody would bring together the things, right?
That's what and that's why I'm bringing this up. That's why I said I'm going to look through this. I wanted everybody to review this before this discussion.
Ms. Campbell, if you have these issues, which are a litany of these things, please send an email to me over each one of these things so that I can be prepared to explain back, because a lot of what you're saying I have answers to, but it would help me if I was prepared. I can't
Mr. Susin, you said these on a televised meeting, and again, I read this particular policy because it even said specifically, speaking to legislators, you said that we were looking at expanding firefighter academies into 2 more areas around Rockledge and into Titusville when we have not done any such thing. You mentioned it that day when we were having a conversation with FSBA. You did your thank yous. You talked about the things that we did talk about with the aquaculture program and the carpentry program, counselors, media specialists, and all that. And you added in the adult ed CDL program that where they're going. But then you said you told them about what we talked about at our meeting at the zoo that Monday. You said the board made significant commitments to the community. And you talked about how we were going, and I don't necessarily disagree with all of these, but you said we're going to publish our budget online for expenditures above $500. I don't ever actually remember having that conversation. You said we're going to allow homeschool students to take 1 or 2 classes and do an attraction campaign. Homeschool students have always been able to take, by the way, 1 or 2 classes, or even more. That's not a new thing. And you said we're going to do a parental and volunteer expansion program, and that we'd met with Health First and Brevard Zoo. When you asked them to speak to us, you didn't tell us what it was about. All of a sudden, it was just happening, and you're saying they're going to give us their stuff, and we're going to do it. These are not conversations that we had as a board, but yet you took that time when you were supposed to be sharing our legislative delegation priorities, and you presented an agenda that was not our agenda, so I can only assume it was your agenda. And because those were each things that you brought up on the meeting on that Monday, it was very frustrating to me, because in that moment, you were representing us as a board, but you did not represent the 480,000 people that the other 4 of us represent when you unilaterally made those decisions. And so because it was a publicly televised meeting, and now the county of Brevard and our legislators think that we're doing all these things when we haven't had those conversations yet, yes, I'm not slapping you on the hand, we're not kicking you off the board, but you didn't follow the agreements that we made.
Okay, so Ms. Campbell, I would have appreciated, because inside of this document, there are other items that say that we're supposed to bring these things forward so that somebody can actually sit here and put it together and have a defense. Hang on. The other thing is, we haven't even signed the document together. We haven't officially brought it forward. We haven't officially done all of those things. So there's a lot here that you're making allegations to that I started writing down, but it's not fair for somebody to come forward with all of these allegations and not sit there and say, hey, I'm going to bring these things forward. I would like you to be able to respond. It goes against everything that we discussed that day. It goes against the actual governance that you put in there, and it puts us liable to allow other individuals to just pop off, which they did already today, about a situation that we shouldn't be doing. Let's work towards a goal as far as sign this document, work towards those as goals, but at the same time, let's not pop off and hit somebody like this, because that's not fair. I will take the time to go through this and look at it, and I'll come back to you at the next workshop and talk about it. But I think that it's unfair to make accusations across the table without an opportunity to defend myself.